Let's have a conversation, just as adults. There are things we don't talk about with our kids, things we don't even say around them. The hard lessons, the ugly stuff in this world, we want to keep it from them as long as we can. Because we're the grown-ups, and we know there are things they just aren't ready for. And maybe it's more than that. We believe there's something pure and beautiful about childhood that's worth keeping, worth fighting for, and we want to protect it at all costs. So we, the grown-ups, we've made an agreement with each other. We'll deal with the ugly stuff. We'll take on the burden so they get to be kids for just a little longer. Now, it's not always easy watching over these guys. Sometimes life or circumstances or our own failings get in the way. Because we're not perfect, and we don't always have it all figured out either. And sometimes, when grown-ups aren't perfect, kids end up getting neglected or hurt. And that's when we need our friends and neighbors, the other grown-ups, to step in and help us get this right. Because there's a lot at stake. For these kids, the whole world is at stake. Now, I'm not going to show you pictures of children who've been abused or neglected, and part of it's because they deserve privacy. And part of it's because the second we start thinking of them as abused or neglected children, we do them a disservice. They're not defined by our failings. They're defined by their own character and their own potential. They're little people, and when they grow up, they'll be doctors and bartenders and teachers and starving artists. They'll be frustrated with their jobs. They'll do them anyway. They'll be parents and they'll be friends. And when it's their turn to rise to the challenge of fighting for innocence and purity and kiddom, what they'll remember won't be our failings. They'll remember how someone stepped up to protect them, how someone gave them a voice when they didn't have one. They'll remember how they needed a reason to believe in grown-ups, and one rose to the occasion. Someone followed through. Someone cared about what they felt and who they would become. Someone did something for them. There are a lot of ways we can stand up for kiddom. We can keep fighting every day for our own kids, our nieces and nephews, and all the little people we know. Man, that's a beautiful thing. But we can also step up to take on some of the burden for fellow grown-ups who might need our help. Because it's a big job, and sometimes it takes all of us. So here's one way you can help. Volunteer with CASA, court-appointed special advocates. CASA volunteers become an important part of the lives of children who have been abused or neglected. You'll spend time with your child, you'll talk to their foster parents, you'll talk to their doctors and their teachers, and then you'll talk to the judge about what you think is best for the child, and the judge will listen to you. Yes, it's a big job, but you won't be alone. CASA provides training and a community of support, but in the end, you'll trust yourself. You'll know that you're the person for the job, simply because you're the person who's willing to step up and do the job. And you'll do it as well as anyone could, because you're a part of this already. You're a grown-up after all, and you were a kid once too.